Alright, so we're gonna have a quick review of the Meze Liric 2. This is a planar headphone by Meze. It retails for around $2,000. And so yeah, let's get into this. I do have the box, but it was too big to fit on camera. Even this case barely fits, so please forgive me for that. Let me go open this up here. This is a nice carry case. It does come with this case, and I do like it. It's really nice quality. I do wish this folded a little bit flatter for more portability, but it is relatively still pretty small and compact, so it is pretty nice. So open it up here. You got kind of this like felt interior with the case here. Let's take out these headphones, and we have a bag with the cables. Let's close this up. Put this to the side here. All right. So let's talk about build and comfort first. Actually, no, let's talk about the cables first. So this bag here. I think this is a real leather bag. I'm not sure. Open this. Take the cable out. Sorry. And so first, let's talk about this shorter cable. It comes with a shorter one and a longer one. The shorter one is braided, while the longer one is more of this like rubbery texture. That like kind of feels cheap, to be honest. I really don't like this cable. As you can see, it doesn't really hold its shape too well. It's like kind of tangly. I do not like this cable. It's very messy and very rubbery feeling, very cheap feeling. I'm surprised that this would come with a $2,000 headphone, but at least it does come with a nice balanced cable. This cable is pretty nice. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, it is dual 3.5 millimeter entry, and then this one terminates in 3.5, and the other one terminates in balanced. It would have been nicer to have a higher quality 3.5 millimeter, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. I used balanced anyway for the most part. So the balance cable though is very nice. I do like this cable quite a lot. And it better be nice for $2,000. But yeah, it is a nice cable. The connectors are metal. It overall feels very good quality. The braiding is very nice. Overall, I do like this cable quite a lot. It is really up to the price. It's good. It's a good cable. All right, let's talk about the actual headphones build quality and sound. I don't know, there's so much like felt and stuff coming up. Get that out of here. Anyway, so overall build is very nice. This feels like plastic to me. I'm not certain if it's plastic or not, but I think this part is plastic. This is a real wood plate here on both sides. The Meze Liric 1 had leather here, and I think that looks better, but I do still like the wood. It still looks nice. The build overall is very high quality. I really like this like a slider system here. It's kind of similar to I think what comes on the AirPods Max, where it's like very friction like held, but it is very nice quality like overall this like adjustment, and it does stay in place. If I shake it a little bit, it's not gonna go down. I don't want to shake this. It's too expensive for me to shake it. But yeah, it won't. It feels very like stuck where it's put at. So it is very nice. The headband is like kind of like a foam here ish, like this like kind of airy what do you call this, like a perforated pad here, and it is very comfortable and very wide. It like has a lot of what do you call it, surface like touching on your head. A lot of the headband touches your head. It's not like just part, like small part of it. So you do have a very like spread out contact area for your head, and it is very comfortable. And this does really well form fit around your head. It doesn't have like a lot of like gaps above where your ears are. It like really does go like curve around your head, which is really nice for a headphone this big. And they are pretty big on your head. These cups look massive. But it's fine. I mean, like, you do get really great comfort with these. These are very comfortable. This is real leather, and it is very soft and plush. This is a very comfortable pair of headphones. One of the most comfortable I've tried. The only thing I would say, like, is more comfortable that I've felt is maybe the AudioQuest Nighthawk or something like that. But this is really up there. This is top tier comfort. Really great. And yeah, overall build and comfort is up to par with the cost here. It is very nice. The build is very, very good looking, very well built. It feels very sturdy, and it is very comfortable. All right, now let's talk about the sound. The sound is, well, let's go bass, mids, highs here. The bass is the main problem. The bass is decent. It's moderate quality. It's not like bad at all. It actually is a decent quality, especially like for a planar. I usually don't like planar bass that much. I much prefer dynamic bass. Hi-Fi Man does a pretty good job with their bass on their planar sets, but other planars I've tried have been just mediocre, like stuff by Mr. Speakers, or like now they're DCA. But I don't really like planar bass typically too much, but this one does an okay job with the texture, and the impact is decent. The problem is the quantity. Now, these headphones have a really weird sensation that, like, at first I thought I was crazy with this, until I told my friend to try this as well. So, as you can see, the driver here, which looks really cool, by the way, this is pretty awesome. It's like, there's like it's like worm stuff, like that's like where the film is, so like it like reduces vibrations apparently in the driver's movement. Now, if I have my this is pretty big, so my ear fits like inside of here. It's not like taking up the whole space. So if I put this on my head and I have it pretty far down on my ear where my ear's on the top part, there's much less bass than if I have it more upwards where my ear's like at this bottom part here. So you get much more bass the higher up this cup is on your head. It sounds like this is impossible, this is weird, like what are you talking about? But this is actually happening. Like I was like, there's no bass at all on here when I had my ear up here. But then when I put it down, I'm like, okay, the bass is here now. It's actually there, it's present, and it's in the track. And I thought it was crazy until I had my friend try the exact same process. His ear is pretty similar to my size ear. And he tries moving this up and down on his head. And he's like, yep, the bass changes completely. Like a very big difference. So that's a little bit weird. I don't know what's going on with like this driver. If it's something with the way this is designed, something with like this like vibration compensating quorum, whatever the hell. I don't know what this does. I don't know the science, but like I don't know what's going on. But that's just something I thought I had to mention. It's very strange. But once you lock in like what you like to have for the fit, like I put it pretty high up, but like it's still comfortable. It's not a big deal. The bass stays the same because this doesn't really adjust. You just put it on your head and it's just there and you kind of forget about it. But if you like pass around this with your friend, you gotta adjust it to their head shape and it will constantly be like messing it up. It's kind of annoying, but otherwise it's fine. But in terms of quality, the bass is solid, but honestly not as good as what I was expecting at this price point. And the quantity is just still too low. Even at like the lowest I'll put my ear here, which is the most bass I'll get on these, it's not that good. It's not that much. It's not that much. It needs more. Like I lose a little bit of that impact. We'll go back to this in a second. But I want to move on to the mids and highs, and I'll talk about the bass again. So the mids are fantastic. The mids are beautiful. They're clear, crystal clear. The vocals are forward, but not too forward, and has a very good smoothness to it. Not metallic at all. Great timbre. And overall, the quality of the vocals is incredible. The instruments sound clear, detailed, and very well spaced out. This has a great stage for being a closed back. I mean, like, honestly, this would compete with soundstage for some of the open backs I've tried. Overall, great, fantastic stage as well, and imaging too. But overall, the mid-range is gorgeous. No problems with the mid-range. I love it. It's probably one of the best mid-range I've heard in a headphone. Going on to the treble as well. The treble is also fantastic. Very well controlled. There's great extension and very, very good detail without getting sibling at all. I've never had sibilants on this headphone. It's been always very comfortable, while at the same time really does bring out really great details in the track. And overall, like vocal extension up into the upper ranges sounds very smooth, clear, and then also piano, strings, everything sounds fantastic in that range, in the acoustic department mainly. Even electronic music does sound good in the like the synths and stuff like that. Sounds great. But the problem comes in with the bass. The bass, it hits nicely. There's just not enough for me to feel like the soul of the music. Like, I'll put on an EDM track or something like that, and it's just not as lively as I would like. I am going to bring in the Denon 7200 for comparison here a little real quick, because this is a much cheaper set. This is like around $1,000. This is $2,000. It's like 2 times the price. But I prefer this set. This has much better detailing, I'd say. And honestly, I prefer the vocals and the treble on here. But not by a lot compared to this. This is really a small difference in quality. The staging is a lot better on here. A lot better imaging presentation as well. This you have very good left to right, but the depth is not as good as the depth on here. So the depth is also great. You have really good layering on this. Very good. The technicalities on the Meze Liric 2 are fantastic. But the problem comes again to the bass, where I just can't, I don't find myself reaching to these because of the lack of bass. You know, I want to hear a track or hear a song. I never reached for these outside of the times where I wanted to test it or just like see if like I like the sound. You know, when I was figuring out the up and down for like, is it sound good here, what's going on? That's when I mainly listen to these, and then also testing, of course. And so other than that though, I never really found myself reaching for these for enjoyment, because it's just lacking that slam. It's lacking that like heavy amounts of bass. Like it's this very bass light. Even if it's not like balanced, it's bass light. Like if you were planning on listening to only acoustic music or something that's just not very bass heavy, or like the bass not really important to you at all, maybe you should get these. But even then, at $2,000, I feel like you should be able to find a headphone that can do everything this does and have good bass. I mean, like, it's not a heavy ask. You know, like, and I say good bass. The quality is good. I keep like saying good bass and not good bass. I mean, like, the quantity is too low, and so like I say not good bass because there's not enough of it, and so it feels like it's worse. But it's not bad quality when you actually like listen for texture and you listen for detail in the bass, it's there. It's fast. It's very fast bass because it's like it is a very planar sounding bass. It doesn't sound like a dynamic, but it's fast bass, but it's good quality. But it's just not enough. It's not enough for me to feel the impact. It's not. There's not enough presence in the bass. Even at like lowering this to the most bass I can put it like on my head. So it's just not enough. Every single time I would go for almost any song, even if it's not a bass heavy track, even because it's just like some drums in there or anything, I would always find myself leaning more towards the Denon. I mean, if there's like some very instrumental music where there's like no bass at all, like it's more piano or like a strings, solely strings, or like very vocalist heavy, very little bass in the background, then I would maybe choose these over the Denons. Again, the staging is very good on this too. I think this would be good for gaming. This is probably a good gaming set. I mean, again though, I wouldn't say you should get a $2,000 headphone just for gaming and not really use it for any music listening. I mean, you can get so many better things than this at the price point. I just don't see myself ever choosing the Meze Liric over this. And it was surprising because I know this is a very well-liked headphone. So I'm sure like a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I just didn't find these to be satisfying in that like in the bass department. So it was just like it was a big disappointment because overall the mids and the treble are fantastic. It was really disappointing. 'Cause if I could have these mids and this treble with the bass on here, which by the way, if you've seen my review on this, you know I love the bass on this. This is the best bass ever. Like the bass are just incredible on here, but it doesn't even need to be this good. It can be half of this much bass, and that would be fine for this. But it's not. This is like 10% of the bass that's on the Denon is on here, like in terms of quantity, and the quality is better on the Denon as well. Like you just have it is a dynamic driver. It's got much better like texture, slam impact on here than on here. But this is faster. If you like this faster sounding bass, this would be faster. But still, again, there's just not enough of it for it to be like even really considered for me. So I mean, can I recommend this headphone? Not really. If you really don't care about bass at all, which I don't think I've met someone yet that doesn't care about it at all. I'm sure you exist somewhere. If you don't care about bass at all, I'm sure it happens. I'm sure like some people they have very specific music taste where there's not a lot of bass involved. Maybe you only like to listen to orchestral, and maybe in that case you only plan on listening to that only that. Yeah, maybe. I mean, even then, there's probably some orchestral music that has some bass in it. To be fair, so like. I don't know, some kind of music genre you like that has no bass at all, maybe then you'll like these. Or really you just want gaming. Really, like, you want to just hear footsteps in a wide stage with, like, a closed back. Then maybe this is good. Again, though, for $2,000, it's just not worth it. You need to have better tuning at this price point where, like, a proper amount of bass. You can have the best mid-range and the best treble in the world. If you don't have the bass, it's not good enough for me. I mean, you have to be able to be competent in each range of the frequency. You can't just like be very good in certain range and just don't exist in the other one. You gotta have everything there. Every part of the song has to be there for me for it to be worth the price. Anyway, so yeah, I don't really recommend this, but it is an interesting set. That's about it. See ya.